Hi there. Just wanted to go over some major areas that we consider in the Park City real estate market. Now, I've added some that are a little extended and technically not in the Park City real estate market, but things you probably should be interested in and taking a look at in areas that we sell in. So, here, this overall map, is a really cool Google Earth map that I put together, and basically, it just kind of goes over the different regions or what we call major areas of the Park City real estate market. So, if somebody's interested in buying a mountain home in Utah, basically, these are the options that we can offer in the way of kind of dividing it all up. And so, each little different area does have definitely different product, and as we call it, or homes for sale. And this kind of is odd because everyone says go up to Park City, but it's actually directly east. And so, looking at this map here, what I'd like to do is kind of just go over each different area that is available for you as a home buyer in Utah, and specifically kind of the Park City, what we call the Park City real estate market. So stay tuned. So we're going to start actually in the center and work our way out. And the first area we're going to talk about is the Park City limits. So the Park City limits basically start, it's the zip code of 84060. And actually, when people think of Park City, they kind of generally speak about the Snyderville Basin and Park City limits, little sign here all the way, including Promontory and on the other side. But this area that from a real estate perspective, when we say Park City limits, we're talking about basically the White Barn into town all the way up to Deer Valley and out to Highway 40. So that's generally the 84060 subdivision. Or not subdivision, zip code. So with that said, the most expensive zip code in the Park City market. And that's mostly because of its proximity to the ski resorts and the type of housing that's available. So working our way out, the next area that we're going to talk about is this Snyderville Basin. And so as we head out of town, basically from Park City Main Street and you're heading out, you're going to be looking, once you pass basically the Park Meadows subdivision heading out on highway, the Snyderville Basin. And that encapsulates the 84098 zip code. And basically it's everything from the Canyons Ski Resort here, which is the Canyons base is here. Let's see, we're driving all the way out here, and then Ranch Place all the way out to Bear Hollow and Kimball Junction. And this is Kimball Junction, which is the main entry into town. This is Highway 80 coming in. Snyderville Basin has all types of properties. It's got golf course properties. It has ski and ski out properties at the canyons. It's got more rural properties out off Old Ranch Road. And so from the Snyderville Basin, we're actually going to head south and out towards the Jordanelle. And I would say from popularity standpoint, you're probably looking at from a second home or investment property in respect of popularity, you would go from right Main Street downtown Park City out towards the little outlying areas. And then one of the hottest new places to buy is actually the Jordanelle. And for a couple of reasons. We call the region basically, well, there's a few properties on the Deer Valley side that are considered the Jordanelle, but basically from where Highway 248 is right here and 40, and basically around, this is the road that goes out to the Camas Valley here, all the way down into the Heber Valley. That area is generally called the Jordanelle region. And it has its own area because it is massive and it has a lot of different property options for you. And so we're going to head into a 3D perspective and kind of zoom in to give you an idea of the types of options that you have. So over here is Tuhey, and that is a private club. This is another area. It has a small golf course-ish. I don't know if you call it really a golf course at this point. That's in the town of Hideout. Heading this direction, you've got Deer Mountain, and then the retreat at Jordanelle, Park's Edge, Wasatch Springs. And so basically this whole corridor here, and it kind of is a gateway to two other areas. So if you head out State Route 32, that heads out to the Camas Valley. And if you head down Highway 40, It basically heads down to the Heber Valley. But what's centered here is this amazing little area, which I'm a little partial to because I live out there. Is this neat new, and I say new, it's actually been 25 plus years in the making of this new area called the Jordanelle. And so you've got ski in, ski out properties, which are at the new expanded Deer Valley. You've got Sky Ridge, which are custom homes on view lots. And then you've got townhome type product here, more condensed. And then you've got the whole town of Hideout that has a lot of different options. Anyhow, lots of options for you to choose from as far as real estate goes out the Jordanelle. Okay, so from the Jordanelle, we're going to head south into the Heber Valley. And really the Heber Valley starts as you drop down from the Jordanelle areas into this great little valley here. And so the Heber Valley is more rural. As you can tell, there's quite a bit of farmland left. And there's a couple major cities, and I say major, they're towns, a couple main towns that encompass Heber Valley. First, you've got the actual town of Heber City, and then just west of it, I guess you call it west, is Midway. Both great options, as you can tell. Midway has been kind of a destination point for tourism because it has Soldier Hollow Golf Course, as well as Wasatch State Park, which has 36 holes, and the Homestead Resort and golf course. So lots of fun activities to do in both summer and winter. And also, you can see this little squiggly line here. This is the Provo River, and the Provo River is known for its quote unquote blue ribbon fishing. And so amazing fly fishing through the valley here. And so real estate options are anything from condos, starter home condo type situation, to big ranches, and everything in between. So lots of options as you head into Heber. So we're heading down from Heber, and I say down Provo Canyon. I really wanted to take just a quick little sidebar or sidetrack down Provo Canyon into Sundance area, which is another little ski resort. And there is property and homes available up through this canyon here. So just, I lumped it in our home search, which will be linked in the property notes or in the show notes below. But just know if you have interest in this area, and specifically Sundance, really cool, very pretty year round. Definitely a smaller resort and definitely a different vibe than the other major areas, but that gives you a pretty good overview of the Heber Valley. So you can see here, again, we started in Park City, we headed out to Snyderville Basin, down the Jordanelle, over to Heber, and then we took a quick little detour over to Sundance. Okay, by the magic of the interweb, we are going to move from the Heber Valley over to the Camas Valley. And so I'm actually going to turn off, make it clean again so you can see. In respect to location, the Camas Valley to Park City is really not that far. So you can be from Main Street, Park City, to Camas, the town of Camas, in probably like 25 minutes drive. And they keep the State Route 32. So it goes actually, my bad, State Route 32 is the one that takes you from Heber to Camas, but the road that goes from Park City around the Jordanelle to the Camas Valley is actually State Route 248. And I mention this because of access to some of the amazing things that Park City has to offer. So the appealing thing about the Camas Valley is that it's rural and quiet, and there are a couple major developments in the Camas Valley that really complement that type of living. And Camas Valley, the town of Camas is growing, but it has always had a few really mainstay cool places to eat, like the pharmacy, and they've got a few other good breakfast places and new things happening too. So the Camas Valley, again, if you're looking for more rural living, ranch style, there's everything from starter homes all the way to large ranches, and kind of everything in between. There are a few condo places within the town of Camas, and more things happening out in Francis, which is this little area here. And then if you kind of zoom out and go down, there is the town of Oakley, which is famous for its 4th of July rodeo. And then also the little town of Pio, which is super cute, but tiny. I mean, I'm not sure it's really called a town. And then if you head out to Highway 80, you hit our next area, which is called Wanship. And again, that's the main corridor here. So just to kind of scroll out, a few things about the Camas Valley access. So access to Park City would be the way of 248, about a half an hour from Main Street, Park City to Camas. If you're commuting to Salt Lake, there's also the option of going Highway 80 around the lake and a reservoir, I should say, and into the town. So that's, again, it provides access here to a lot of different type property, mostly ranch style things, that direction. Okay, so we're going to leave the Camas Valley and we're heading into Wanship. A few things to note while we're on our way. Basically, I was telling you about the cute little town of Peoa. As you head out, and I said the lake, it's actually Rockport Reservoir. There are a couple developments here that you should know about, and that's this one on the hillside here. This is Rockport Estates, and it is often, we get a lot of calls on it because the price is good, but the access is challenging. So it's a little bit quote unquote off the grid, but some really cool properties up there. So if you're in the more adventurous type, you can definitely check out some listings there. Also, it's on the backside of Promontory, so it's really cool. This is kind of the ridge that folds into this little development, but that's considered more Snyderville Basin. And then we'll head out towards Highway 80. So this is a little Weber River that flows out of, or flows into, I should say, the Rockport Reservoir. But Wanship has some property available. Mostly, it's kind of an older type town. The Spring Chicken is an old stop off Highway 80. It's no longer in business, but a lot of people know the town of Wanship from that. But as you head out Highway 80, you move from the little main area of Wanship and you head basically out towards the next town you'll run into is Hoytsville. Hoytsville actually has some cool ranch style properties. And the further east you head, the less expensive it becomes. And then Colville here. Basically, the Colville is the county seat actually for Summit County. And so you'll see if you live in town, in the Park City area, that's where the courthouse is. That's where the fair is. And then, of course, they've got the high school. Now, one thing we kind of snuck by here is an area, which I want to point out as well, because we get a lot of calls for this area here, which is Tollgate. And Tollgate is this right off Highway 80 across from Promontory this way. Tollgate technically has a Colville address. And so you'll go, there's lots of, again, just like I mentioned, Rockport is a little bit off the grid and rural. That's the same feeling you get here, but completely different topography and I don't know, landscaping and views here, both very rustic, but this you're set in trees and steep. And access in the winter is very challenging. Unless you're on the plow route, and then the plow route is all the HOA or personal people, but not for the faint of heart, but definitely for somebody who wants some seclusion. So we're going to head out. So just to kind of give you an idea, we talked about, we haven't made it all the way up to Echo and Hennifer yet. So as you head east on Highway 80, the section that we're talking about again is Wanship, which is right at the base here of Rockport, goes out to Highway 80, Hoytsville, Colville, county seat. You run into the Echo Reservoir. Actually, this reservoir, I love this place. It's small. You can, in the summer, it has a great little beach area, easy access to launch your water sports, and then super fun to be out on. And then, so the town of Echo, small, not a whole lot of stuff. I can't say that we've ever sold anything in the town of Echo, but Hennifer. So if you head Highway 84, like you're going to Morgan, Hennifer is another town and really cute and not a lot available. I would say your property options and all these little mountain, more rural towns become more single family, old miner type homes, long, lots of property that people have owned for a long time, type of farm estates, and less things happening. Not as many, not very many restaurants. Colville actually has a fair share of a handful, not a fair share, just a handful of restaurants. Definitely nothing happening there in Hoytsville, and there's only your gas station there in the Wanship area. So from that, we'll head, next stop is even farther north and a little bit, I would say, out of the Park City, quote unquote, real estate market, but something you should know about. Okay, so as we leave the Hennifer area, we're heading into Morgan County. And this little drive on Highway 84 is really quite beautiful, especially in the fall. And the reason I wanted to share with you Morgan is that if you are looking for to live in the mountains of Utah, this is a wonderful little quiet, beautiful community. And it has grown, but it's gorgeous and definitely rural, but it has some neat little options and access to it. So first thing I wanted to mention is this golf course called Round Valley. Super fun, always a good time at Round Valley, pretty relaxed. There's actually RV spots, so if you want to spend a weekend and camp there and then play some golf, it's amazing. Apparently there's new pickleball courts. I wasn't aware of that. And then there's a high school, but the property that it's available in this Morgan County or Morgan town, the county is large, but the town is where most of the real estate options are, is, you've got everything from single family homes to larger ranches. And then the other section, as you head further on 84 towards, this is the road that takes you to Ogden. And there's the town of Mountain Green as we head over here. And Mountain Green is kind of blowing up because it is the access to Ogden is pretty great, and you can get to Ogden fairly quickly. And then the access to our another little area, which we're going to talk about here in a minute, to Snowbasin, Huntsville ski area is pretty great too. So if you're interested in learning more about Morgan and what properties we have available, you can actually click on the link in our show notes, and that'll give you an idea of, if you want horse property, definitely available in Morgan, or a smaller single family home or larger single family home, all that's available in the town of Morgan. Mountain Green, a little swankier in the sense that it's got some newer stuff, some larger stuff, kind of a suburb community of the Ogden, the town of Ogden, or I would say the general region of Ogden there. Okay, moving on. Okay, so the last area that I want, actually, I'm going to talk about this area and then we'll head to Salt Lake. But this area, I think, is just on the verge of becoming something big. And it's been interesting to see the development in the news the last few days, or last month or so. So what we're talking about is the Snowbasin, Huntsville area. And so as you head out of Mountain Green, there are 3 ski resorts, 2 really legitimate, and then there's Nordic Valley, ski resorts and areas that might be interesting to somebody who doesn't necessarily want to be in the thick of things of the Park City area, but still wants a Utah ski home. There are 2 places. So you've got Snowbasin, which is a fun ski resort here. And then there is also, it's been in the news lately, is this Powder Mountain. And Powder Mountain is actually quite large. It's like 8,000 skiable acres, not skiable acres, 8,000 acres. So sorry, you go up Wolf Creek here and you can see all of these runs here. So just something that should be on your radar if you're looking for a ski home in Utah. And we can definitely add more videos and details about what's coming online. But basically, okay, so the last area that I want, actually, I'm going to talk about this area and then we'll head to Salt Lake. But this area, I think, is just on the verge of becoming something big. The dude that owns Netflix is a majority owner in this, and he just announced that they are going to be expanding real estate options to keep it quiet, as they say, quote unquote, staying uncrowded and independent. And I'll actually link in the show notes a blog post that he quoted or that he wrote here back just a few days ago, and we're recording this December of 2023. Basically, what he said is that they'll be investing $20 million in 3 new lifts, and then basically part of that new development is going to be private ski areas. So could be really cool. Going to be really cool is my guess. And the dude is Reed Hastings. And he decided to buy the ski area because he and his wife are longtime homeowners and they love the mountain and they want to see it flourish. So they're going to be moving into a semi-private operation plan that includes private slopes attached to real estate sales, et cetera. So if this is interesting to you, let me know. And again, there'll be a little link in the article or link in the show notes to give you more information. But I mention this area because, again, not real estate in Park City is great, but maybe you're looking for something a little bit more remote. And this definitely is, this general area is worth taking a look at. The last thing I want to talk about is the Salt Lake option. And yes, it is definitely not part of the Park City real estate market, but it's definitely something you should know about because of its proximity. And so we're going to this is kind of crazy, a little annoying. Get your bearings here. We're going to stop it here. So again, you fly into Salt Lake, you go up Parley's Canyon, and there's the town of Park City. And as you come into town, you hit Snyderville Basin. And then if you drive through town, you hit Heber, and then you can come down the canyon, the Provo Canyon, go to Provo. But what we want to talk about today is kind of how all of these little areas sit, but some of the options you might have in Salt Lake as well. So if convenience or you're relocating to Utah, definitely consider a few things. Number one, Immigration Canyon is beautiful. So areas of it are a little bit rustic, and it's actually not very big. Cuts right through down, drops you right into the University of Utah area. I wanted to show you a couple other neat neighborhoods. First of all, the Olympus Cove. So 80 is the road that takes you to Park City. As you come out of Park City, you hit 215. And there are a few little neighborhoods that give you pretty good access to downtown Salt Lake, Park City up the canyon, and then, of course, skiing the Cottonwood Canyons. And so we've talked about a bunch of different ski resorts in Utah. This little area under Mount Olympus is called the Cove, and there's some really neat options there. A lot of mid-century modern stuff there. And then basically to ski the Cottonwood Canyons, whether it be Big Cottonwood Canyon or Little Cottonwood Canyon, you're going to take this 6200 south and head up into the Cottonwoods. Actually, so as you come off 215 here, you're exiting, and then you're going to go up. This is Big Cottonwood Canyon, the entrance to Big Cottonwood Canyon, and that takes you to the 2 ski resorts here, which is Solitude and Brighton here. And as a crow flies, really, look at how close that is to everything on the backside of Park City. Even here, kind of get an idea here. Park City Mountain Resort, Deer Valley. Okay, so we're looking just right over the edge there of Big Cottonwood Canyon. And actually, a beautiful summer drive is through this Guardsman Pass area down. Okay, so Solitude and Brighton. Not in anything really. I mean, there are some options for homes in these areas, but really the Cottonwood Heights area would be an interesting buy if you were, or option, or the Cove if you were looking to relocate. So now I'm trying to get myself back into the Wasatch Front. I'm going to fly back over there to get myself all back into order. Okay. 2D. Sorry. This portion. Get this out of the way here. So we've got the University of Utah. We came out of the canyon here off Highway 80. There's Highway 80. Heading down Cottonwood Canyons here. Big Cottonwood Canyon. If you keep going, Little Cottonwood Canyon. And so again, the name is different because little and big. This one's definitely more narrow. And then there's Alta and Snowbird, which is right in before Alta. So lots of options. There's 4 amazing ski resorts. Alta obviously is for skiers, and Snowbird. If you head back down again, let's talk about what Salt Lake has to offer. If Park City is out of your budget, or you're looking to be a little more close to the airport or work, definitely some options here in the Salt Lake Valley. We have our favorites: Canyon Rim, the Cove. Again, puts you nicely into the mouth of Parley's Canyon. You can be to the University of Utah if you're working there. You can jump on Highway 80, head down into downtown Salt Lake. So just some great options. And again, David on our team lives down in Salt Lake. Jeff went to the University of Utah. We live down in the valley for a bit, so very much aware of what's available in these great little areas. So that's a pretty extensive tour of real estate in Utah, really the Wasatch Front and back. I'm Nikki, associate broker with the Kai team here with Keller Williams in Park City. We're here to help. So if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below or click on one of the numerous ways to get a hold of us, which is also listed below. Thanks so much.